by two genius French engineers. For the first time, an airship that can actually be navigated successfully. It's been to Paris and then to London in just a whopping 5 days, carrying 12 people, the maximum capacity for the R101, as an envelope or large bag filled with helium, ballonets, large bags filled with heavy air, a rudder which steers the airship, and of course, the engine. Who knows where the R101 will go next?
It was about 2 years ago, it was purely by accident. I was driving through a picturesque village called Cardington, and I pulled over. It was a lovely summer's day, and I was beside the churchyard, and I went in and I saw the monument to the R101, and it had quite an impact on my life, really, thinking about that. What an achievement to get it up in the air in the first place and to go across the channel. And what a tragedy to crash and then lose 48 people that lost their lives. But I have been back there several times. It still lingers in my mind, and I've come into Bedford Library and they've got an excellent display of books on the R101. So yeah, it's reignited my interest in it, and I will go back to Cardington. Now it's been explained to me that there is a collection of books at Bedford Library. Slowly I'm going to take them out and read about them, because it was very, very important part of British history, really, that with the speed of life is being slowly forgotten about. So I would recommend you to come into Bedford Library, have a chat with the staff here, and pick yourself up a book, and then from that go up to Cardington and have a look and say a prayer to the people who lost their lives. Thank you very much.
Breaking news, the airship has just been spotted in Bedford. We now hear from local resident Keith.
So I'm in town with my grandson, and we see the R100 actually flying over Bedford town. It's on its way back to Cardington, where the hangar is. I live in Cardington. I live in one of the houses that was built by the Shorts brothers in 1917 for this very airship, and here it is flying across town.
I'm always intrigued by the fact that the R100s, which completed all its trials correctly, is lost to history virtually, while the R101, which failed, is so remembered. I'm sure it's purely because of the loss of life that happened and was so drastic to Bedford at the time. When I was a little lad, I can remember the German airship, I think it was the Graf Zeppelin, which flew over London, and I can remember my father taking me out to the front of the house and pointing it out to me as it flew over south of London.
What was that like? How did that feel?
It was there like a big pencil. At that age, I was not so sort of interested in things as I am now.
Yeah. So with the airship, with the R100, that was a successful
as far as I can remember, or as I've read in the book by Neville Shute, the slide rule, that the R100 carried out all its trials that were asked for and ended up being broken up after the R101 crashed.
We are approaching Saturn. Then we land on Saturn and roam around until we see some aliens. The aliens are slightly smaller than humans. They are gray in color with oversized black eyes and pointy ears. They appear friendly. On board, Mom and Dad are here, and my Nintendo Switch, and my plushies to play with just in case I get bored. The plushies are Mario, Luigi, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Shadow. When we are approaching, I ate rice and curry.
How were you into airships before you were born?
Well, I blame it on my parents really. As you can tell by this picture, they visited Cardington on an open day in '77 just prior to my birth. So basically that was my first introduction to airships in Cardington was before I was even born, which is all their fault really.
Can we go?
So yes, that's how I got into it. Well, I blame them for it.
Yeah, one minute.
So yes, my parents took us there on the open day, and it went from there really.
So do you think you got it through osmosis?
I don't know what that means, but yes, it was. From there on, I was born in '77, and then my first experience with an airship would have been in '83 when I was about 3 years old, and the maiden flight of Skyship 500 GBIHN, and I think
Can you tell us about that?
I think I've got dates wrong on that. Right, maiden flight of GBIHN. I was 3 years old. My father came into the house and picked me up and whisked me off down the road, down Salville Road, and parked me on the back of an old class combine with my granddad and my dad all sitting up there watching this event. And what it was the maiden flight of GBIHN Skyship 500-02, and that is my earliest memory. And ever since then, when I was younger, I used to go and see my granddad, nick all his toffees, all his sweets, and get him to talk to me about the R101 and stuff like that. And then as a kid, I'd hear an airship, or this airship, coming up to the house. I'd run out, look above the house, see it coming over. You could see the lights on the bottom of it flashing, and it used to come directly across our house, between the chimney pots. You'd come over and stare, run through the house, out the back door, look back up again, and as it was coming over, I'd wave at the pilots, and occasionally they'd wave back at me. And as a little kid, that was fantastic. But anyway, it's my folks' fault that I'm doing all what I do on about airships.
And you're now a local expert, essentially.
I don't like the word expert with me, so I have a keen interest in the history of Cardington, and I like to talk about it an awful lot. I run numerous pages and groups on Cardington, and I just like to get people interested and involved in the history, and do my best to get that point across.
Hi, my name's Jay. I'm the security here at the Bedford Central Library. I also work on some of the other council offices. I'm keeping here of the world's largest aircraft, the Airlander 10. I have the privilege of looking after this airship at the hangar in Cardington. I used to work every Sundays looking after this 90-metre aircraft. Basically, I was just making sure nobody touched the aircraft or its parts, made sure nobody came on site who weren't supposed to be there. As I say, I looked after it every Sundays, and it's nice to be a part of it. And I was very disappointed when it crashed. I was also disappointed when it left Cardington hangars. It's now in an undisclosed location. But I wish you all success.
My name's Keith. We used to go dancing up at the camp on a Saturday night, and they used to have different groups there, and it was all boys and girls. They used to bus the girls in. They used to get in free because there was a shortage of girls, and that was it. And because there wasn't so many airmen up there with the camp, so that's where they're situated in the RAF camp.
They weren't allowed to sell alcoholic drinks up there, so if you wanted an alcoholic drink and that, you had to go down the hill to a pub called The Gate at the bottom of the hill, and then we used to... Sorry? Harrington Lane, yeah. And in fact, then we used to have a quick couple or so sort of thing, and then run back up the hill and that in order to catch the second half of the dance.
And it's built on an original naval pallet, wooden pallet, so it's quite big. But I fitted it all out. I've got all the things that you need in there.
And what's in your shed?
There's over 200 books for a start, an enormous amount of printed material of past of the airship sheds, and well, generally what the camp is used for.
Hello, my name is Piotr Teki. I'm from Poland. I'm showing here how to make an airplane, and I made it with my mom's help.
Do you remember about these photos?
Yeah.
Where did we go to take these?
Paddington.
Hello, thanks for joining me. My name is John Robertson, and I'm going to take you on a Robertson ramble. Tucked away in a pretty little corner of Bedfordshire, there is a village called Cardington. Cardington has a very, very important historical background. The R101 airship was built at Cardington. She was the largest airship in the world at 777 feet long. And on the evening of the 4th of October 1930, the R101 left Cardington. So that was 89 years ago, soon be 90 years. She carried 42 crew, 6 officials and 6 passengers. 3,000 people lined the streets to watch it take off. She successfully crossed the English Channel, but at 2 a.m. the R101, very near to Paris, went into a dive and crashed and was engulfed in flames. 48 people died. Thousands and thousands of people lined the streets in London to watch the funeral. The bodies were then taken by a special train to be laid to rest in Cardington Cemetery. I hope you've enjoyed this Robertson Rambles, and you will take time to make your way to Cardington to have a look. Thank you very much for joining me.